All right, is the active Unfiltered Fatherhood Series right here on the I Am Drive. Remember, I would love for you to join us at the Monkey Fest 2024 at Canwin Hotel.
Man, you're the rock of your family. Now it's time to work out with us. Sunny FM and Activa International Insurance proudly presents the maiden edition of Sunny Activa Man Cave Festival. Join us for a day of epic man cave conversations, mouth-watering food, health checks, free post-it and ice cream, top-notch networking and activities. So awesome, even Superman will be jealous. Mark your calendars, gentlemen, on the 29th of June 2024 from 9 a.m. 2 p.m. taking over the Canwin Hotel for a day you won't forget. Sign on to Activa insurance policies and get amazing goodies from Activa. Tickets are going for 299 Ghana cedis. Get your tickets now and secure your spot at the Monkey Festival, the ultimate men's hangout. Ticket short code star 887 star 273 hash. Star 887 star 273 hash. Call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 for more information. So men, don't be the rock, be the rock star. See you at the Sunny FM Activa Monkey Festival. Monkey Festival, where men become legends. Brought to you by Activa International Insurance, Canwin Hotel, and supported by Apollonia City, Starbite, Fed Eye Care, Apple 12, Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Remember, if you'd love to join this conversation, if you have a voice, you can send a voice. If you have a comment, you can drop it below the live feed. WhatsApp is 0540-130-684. That is 0540-130-684. Gentlemen, welcome to the studio, Sunny 88.7 FM.
Well, thank you very much.
Awesome. MOG and Timothy. We'll let MOG do Fast and Furious just so we could have him in the studio with us this morning. I think I'm getting a bit of noise in this one.
Okay.
Let me just, Steve, can we just do a quick switch of the microphones? I think microphone 4 is giving me a little bit of feedback this morning. But it's great to have you join us this morning. You're in Togo, right? What took you there?
Ministry.
And also Futu could have been doing some Zoom meeting interceding for some Asoriba, but he's also here with us this morning. Thank you so much for coming in today. And it's all about the Unfiltered Fatherhood Series that we are having this month. I want to pick your mind on the thoughts of dedicating quite some ample time for fatherhood and discussing issues in relation to men this month. Let me start with Timothy.
Well, I think that, thanks for having me and good morning to your listeners and viewers, that is. I think that fathers are not very celebrated in our day and age, and mothers are more celebrated, if you like. Mm-hmm. And absentee fatherism, if you like. The fathers that are not there are the reasons for most populated prisons, most populated prostitution rings, most addictions, most, all the vices, most of them are as a result of absentee fathers. And so it's very laudable that, Sunny would, celebrate fathers and, talk about the issues that really matter. Because I think that we have silenced that whole vibe a bit. And we've made, and we fathers always complain, we've made, the mothers
a lot. We've heard it a lot over the years.
When Mother's Day is coming, it's everywhere.
There's a page I'm on when it's almost Father's Day. The men will come and say, "Please, so don't forget, Father's Day is coming. It's coming.
With the bell, with a picture of the boy.
Yes. Oh, okay. So it's everywhere. That picture features everywhere.
You have to remind people about it.
Yeah.
Maybe, and that goes to tell everybody how uncelebrated fathers are generally. Because there's some very good fathers out there, and we always talk about runaway fathers. Nobody really talks about runaway mothers, but there are many runaway mothers out there.
I heard about one that broke my heart. I couldn't believe it.
Exactly. Yeah. And there you go. I mean, and there are very, very good fathers who are playing the role of mother and father at the same time, taking care of the kids, giving them a shower, dropping them off, and the mom is maybe off to work, or But I think that we are very under celebrated. So kudos to you. I mean,
we thank God. MOG.
Yes.
MOG. My favorite movie is Fast. I really love Fast and Furious. All right, let's hear from you also.
For me, the reality of fatherhood came alive when I became one. Yeah. Growing up as a child, I always had this worry for my father not being around most of the times. Because obviously I have to go to work, wake up early in the morning, come home very late. My mom was always around, and I felt like my mom was a superhero. She really cared about us.
Okay.
So all my plans growing up was to just take care of my mom. My father is okay. And I really honestly didn't care about my dad because I felt like he wasn't there to spend time with us. It's always my mom and all that. Then, by the grace of God, I get married. And I started having kids. And the same thing I was complaining about when I was a child, my son also starts talking about it.
How did you put in words? What did he say to you?
He was like, so one of the days, I think I traveled and I came back, and the same day I had to pack my bag and travel again to another country. And he literally came back from school, saw me about 2 to 3 hours, and he saw me packing another bag. He was, Daddy, you're traveling again.
Yeah.
Oh no. I was like, Joshua, I have to go.
You have to go.
So I was driving to the airport and I had tears in my eyes. And it literally took me back to the time when my father would leave the house like 4 a.m. And we'll hear him bathing early in the morning just to leave the house. And it was basically about ends meet. And as much as I was going to do the work of God, it was also a position where I'll be able to get something to support the family, And I was just sitting in the car and said, Father, forgive me. For holding this against me. So immediately I called my dad and I was like, just thank you for everything. Thank you for providing for us. Then he asked me, now we
emotions,
I told him what happened. They said, yeah, it's a reality of being a man. So
wow.
That's when fatherhood really came alive to me.
So that was like after how many years before you understood the challenges, how hard it was for your dad? It took your son.
Yeah.
It took your son to help you realize this. And let me find out from Timothy also. I think in his response to my previous question, we get to find about his relationship with his dad and how things unfolded. How about you, Timothy? Remember, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can join in this conversation. If you have a question, you have a suggestion, you have a comment, anything, 0540-130-684. That's on WhatsApp. You can drop your comment also below our live feed. Timothy, let's hear from you. What's it like with you and your dad growing up?
Oh, I think it was the exact opposite of emojis. My dad was home. My dad was he would go to work, come normal time. Spent a lot of time with us. Personally, I think that I had a lot of. I was surrounded with very bad company. Very adventurous young man. But the father figure, element was there. That was always there to talk, there to let us pray, take us to church. And I think that my focus on family was primarily gotten from my dad. Never saw my dad even argue with my mom. Never. Like just an argument. I never saw that happen. And after I grew up, now I know they must have fought. Definitely. But there was an intentional, effort put in it to make sure that the kids didn't get to witness them fight. So I think that he was very family focused. And so some values that I have now, I most definitely got from my dad. And I thank God that I don't have to, like, you know, travel around as much as the Fast and Furious one. But I was with him on Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, at a program on
You're
Saturday.
saying.
And then I hear he drives to Togo on Sunday. No, just church in the morning on Sunday. Drives to Togo.
He's out.
And he's back here. He says if you didn't come, you kill him.
Oh my God. Timothy, there's a perception that if for most children or sons who have your fathers in your life, you're likely to come out well. But you mentioned be surrounded by bad company. I want to know how that happened, because you talk about how your father was present, you would pray together. How did that happen?
I think that I'm just adventurous. I think that I don't know. I don't know how that happened, because the whole stint, which became more than a decade and a half in very bad company with all the addictions, I think that it was just a young man being adventurous, especially when you're told not to do something. It's as if it's
you've been propelled.
Yeah, once they don't do, like, that's where, you know, with kids, when you say don't go there, that's where they want to go.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's why that drove me into about a decade and a half and all that. But by and large, every time I take the fall for it, I think that my parents did everything they could. Job. It was just bad boyism, and I think that one thing I always tell parents is that sow the seeds. Sow the seeds. It doesn't matter how far away they stray from the path. Once the seeds are there, they'll find their way back. And I think that I'm a prime example of that.
Awesome. This is Sunny 88.7 FM, is the Activa Unfiltered Fatherhood Series with Timothy Bentum and MOG. And I want to find from you, MOG was talking about how his son says, Dad, you're traveling again. You know, I just saw you're going out again. Have you had anything like that with your children?
Yes. I get that. I mean, I don't do an out of town like he would. He'll fly in and have to fly out the same day. But I do drive in and have to drive out the same day. You know what I mean? And I have a daughter. My first son is more attached to me.
How many children do you have, Timothy?
I have 4. Actually, I have 3. One's adopted, but it's 4.
4,
you know?
Yes.
And the second one, you know, he's junior. And every time I'm leaving, he said, Mama, must you go? You know, I'm like, yeah, you wake up tomorrow morning, ask for bread. Yeah, I must go. but yeah, I get that a lot from him, because he's more attached, and he always come and, hey, but you have to go there. And I always let him know that as a man, you've got to go and make money, you know. But I try my best not to shirk, not shirk, but, you know, not to lose quality family time. I try. It's not easy, but I try as much as I can, you know, to be there. Sometimes do the homework small, and you know, it's not easy. But I have turned down a few things because of family.
I was going to ask you about that, if you've had to make that decision to turn down.
Absolutely. I have. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard, but depending on what's happening, you know, I had to go to my son's school when he was doing some cultural, something very. If I tell you, understand, but something
I will understand. I'm sure about you too.
You know, but I had to be there. I had to turn down something I had to go and do, and it was actually preaching. It was actually God's work. I had a meeting, and I had to turn it down. At the very last minute, and in my mind, I had a battle going on. But the family is the first ministry, and only to get into the school and find out it was just me and another parent. First, you know,
but you showed up, and I'm sure you must have been glad. I have a message that says, I witnessed MOG perform this weekend at Cedar House Chapel, and unbeknownst to him, his son and a gentleman were sitting behind me. The moment his father came on to lead us, his boy left from the seat like, Daddy! It was so touching to witness. MOG, so when you are ministering and he's in the crowd, do you see his face? Like, how can you interpret what the look on his face is like, seeing his daddy on stage ministering?
When I'm ministering, my eyes is all over, so I hardly
ever able to see him in the crowd.
If I'm able to catch a glimpse of you, then he will just come in front and come and stand somewhere and start dancing. Then I'll give him a smile, you know. Yeah, then that's what normally happens. Yeah.
Have you been at a place like Timothy where the family needed you, ministry needed you, and you had to make a tough call to say, okay, this is what's a priority, or that one is a priority? I mean, have you ever been in those situations, those seasons? Are you still in there?
Several of them. I would normally find myself in a position where I need to, boycott an event for family. And most of the times, my wife will go like, "Oh, we are fine. You can go." And those times, I used to think that we are fine is we are fine. So,
okay. Who calls that school? Never cheat. Oh, okay. Watch it too much.
it's just like, oh, yeah, God has blessed me with a very understanding
wife, family.
So we are fine. You can go. Then I was like, okay, I pick my bag. Like the way I leave. Like this year, my birthday, right? My wife wanted to take me out, and all that. And my friends, some of my friends called me.
Oh, good morning. Imelda's watching actually. Yeah, she's with us. Good morning, Imelda.
One was like, "Oh, I'll take you out for lunch, then we'll do dinner." Like, okay, no problem.
A whole day planned out.
Yeah. And then in the morning on my birthday, one of my friends called me, and it's like, "Yo, bro, what's up? Let's hang out." So I told my wife, like, this is what the guys are saying. She's like, "Oh, it's fine, you can go."
So were you actually telling her, or you were asking? I'm wondering at this point.
I was just telling her.
You were just telling her.
Like,
okay.
This is what the guys are saying. I didn't ask, like, because I wish she had plans.
Okay.
This was, oh, sorry. I was like, "Oh, no, let's do your own." Yeah. She's like, "Oh, I'm okay, you can go." So I was like, I took the okay, and then I left. Then, I was there, sitting down with my guys. Shout out to Ken, and we're just sitting down, chilling and all that. And I got a long text message.
Some messages okay, I can't be done.
I couldn't finish it, so I just like, I have to do. So I had to come home, apologize and all that. So yes, it took time to really get it, but over time I understood it. And when I know I have a family time, I normally tell my manager that this date is not available. This date is not available.
I remember one time we called you about breakfast, and I remember you said something that was a time you needed to be, I think, with your children. You either mentioned dropping them off at school or having to be with your wife. Yeah. Of course, we couldn't have you, but in my heart, I was glad as a wife, as a mother, that I could hear another father say, "I have to be there for my family." Right. So definitely, that was a good one. Yeah. I'm curious if you've seen the video that has been circulating of Archbishop talking about the lost times he had as a young minister. Timothy, have you seen it?
I have.
What's your thoughts on this? Have you picked up anything that you think is helpful to you and to other young ministers that you'd like to highlight?
Absolutely. I think that we, when we are growing, we become very, I want the right word to use, we become very aspiring. All right. And we want to chase the limelight and use our youth positively. I don't think that it's in a bad light that you want to go out there, make it happen. But if you don't take care, you would get all of that. And when you get there, when you look back, then there are many regrets. I bless God for his honesty and transparency when it comes to this matter. And because it's pretty much out there. His son's challenges and all of that. And if you don't take care, you'll be very quick to judge if you're standing on the outside. Now, for him as a person, the ability to be like, upfront about it and to take the blame for not being there and everything is commendable. And for us ministers, like I said earlier, I think that our families must be our first ministries where we take care of these kids, our wife, and everything they represent. And then by extension, now we can go out there and get other people to be blessed and all of that. Because if you don't take care, what eventually happens is that everybody thinks you are doing very well up until you get into your own home. And then you notice that Charlie fragmented is breaking up and going to smithereens. So I think that I just saw it this morning actually. You know, when I woke up, I saw it this morning, and I was like, "Child, this man is brave, man. I
Very
mean,
much.
to
Very,
to
very
to to be
much.
to be able to talk about it with such you know courage and really
So
spilling the beans. And
vulnerability.
vulnerability is the word, you know, because as preachers we don't like to be vulnerable. We are the macho ones, and we don't have problems and all of that. So I doff my hat to him. But as a minister, I think that we are enjoying the graces of those that have gone ahead of us. Like as we day now, and like he's saying, like I'm saying, we're just having a talk before the interview started. He said, my pastor said, don't say anything.
Yeah.
So it's as if once you are under the right kind of covering, enjoying the tutelage of those that have gone ahead of you, you don't make the mistakes they've made if you would listen. And so my advice is let's just listen and learn.
It's a good word from there. MOG, I just want to know if you also picked up a few things from that video you'd like to share with us.
I picked up a lot, you know, being a young minister and watching this, you know, great patriarch. I picked up a lot. I bless God for his life and his honesty because he has no idea the number of lives he's transformed by being transparent to us. The part that really touched me is when he said one of his sons cannot even call him dad. He calls him sir till date. And it shows the amount of damage that has been done and how urgently he wants to fix it at any cost at this time. So it gives you an understanding that, listen, this is what our Father is experiencing.
That's the bridge ahead of you also.
This was ahead of you. You have the time to correct those things before you get to his level. So he's giving us an opportunity to bond with our kids, bond with our family, before we get to the level where he is now. So we don't also end up saying or speaking the way he's speaking. And I bless the Lord for the life of the Archbishop, for helping us to become good fathers.
Yes.
And good parents and
Yes.
good husbands,
Yes.
you know, and God bless him.
It's a good one from Archbishop that
he's
day.
really helped us. Yeah.
It warmed my heart so much to see that video. This one says, so MOG didn't know how to speak the wife language, which starts with okay. he came to the party late. So if you can share with us how you are, in your own special ways, are protecting your family time and maintaining healthy boundaries with your ministry, Timothy, for you, with your congregation, and of course your family. How you are protecting your family times and your boundaries as well.
That's a lot of English, but I think that intentionality is key. Intentionality is key because there's always work to do. There's always places to go to. There's always somebody to pray for, somewhere to rush to, someone there's an emergency.
You get calls at sometimes 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Oh,
for
yeah,
prayers.
yeah.
I remember I was about to call my pastor at about 2 a.m. I'm like, oh my God. But I had no one else to call but him.
No. I think that's why we are there. I mean, yeah, so you keep going. And if you're giving a woman that's very understanding and knows your calling, then she doesn't complain and all of that. But then if you have an understanding wife, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be wise. You know, she understands, but then you should also know when to rein in the things you do and be able to have quality time with them. So personally, I make sure even when I'm going to church, I have to be there early, but I go with everybody.
Okay.
So we are all getting ready, we are all going. So they learn that you have to be in church early. As much as it's practically possible, I stay with them after church, after all the meetings, they are there with me. So they also learn how to, how church work is not just, so they learn. You've got to stay there, you've got to work.
They're part of what you're doing. You make them a part of it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
And you mentioned earlier about how adventurous you were as a young man. I want to know how, if, and maybe how, it's impacting how you are raising your children. Sometimes there's a tendency to be extreme when you've had a past experience.
Yeah, there's a Bible study. We have Wednesday Bible study, and my daughter was saying, the Bible said in front of everybody that, if you have a very expressive father like mine, then you tend to be also very expressive.
Putting it on you.
Because I think that I am a bit much when it comes to, holding them down. And I've had serious issues with my first daughter, like major issues. She was suicidal at 15, and she was slitting her wrists, and mad. I'm saying it because she gave the testimony herself in church after her last birthday, and she wanted to die, and so I had to now go and, find out who her friends were. I noticed there were all kinds of things going on in the school. She was in, Mount Sinai back then, all of that. So had to change her school, and her mother had to get down into some serious prayer and all of that, and then try to. Now she's fine, she gave the testimony herself. But I think that in a bid to make her enjoy her teenage years, you might end up not reining her in as much as you should, because you also don't want to be the hey guy. In my home, I'm the liberal one. When their mother looks at them a particular way, they understand.
They get the language.
So yes, it's had its ups and downs, the advantages and disadvantages. But by and large, I think that it's given me a 360 approach to dealing with it. So the mom is the stern one. I come in with my laid back, let's leave them, and then together, good cop, bad cop is working. And I think God is helping us.
Wow. This is Sunny, 88.7 FM. MOG, I want to know how you are managing with going out there, being obedient to the call of God upon your life, and also still prioritizing your family and your family time.
It's still work in progress. I must be honest. There's a with the greatest humility, and I know it's the grace of God. There's a very great demand on what we do, and we literally have to be at a lot of places to be a blessing.
Because I'm looking at your status, I'm like, emoji or kind of emoji or I'm like, emoji. Like, how's he doing this?
So and obviously the kids are young, and I need to.
How many do you have, emoji?
4.
4.
4 boys.
Have you finished? Or we should ask you, Melton. I know it's put you down.
Yeah.
Usually they say you should ask the women, not the men.
I know, right?
Well, she says she's done, so we are done.
Then it means for real.
Yeah. So I try as much as possible. If I don't have any events or anything, I spend a lot of time at home, like literally be at home. Thank God I don't have that friend that I can say, I'm moving my car to the house to go and spend time with a friend or something. I'm literally home. If I'm not home, I'm in the studio or rehearsal or an event or church. So basically, these are my rounds. So if these things are not occupying my time, then I'm home, sitting in the hall, chilling with the boys, playing PS5 or with my wife as well.
Okay.
She beats me in Mortal Kombat.
Melton, this is from me to you.
And we try, because when the time away comes, sometimes it can be months being away, and so I try as much as possible to keep that balance. I don't really have it all together, but it's still work in progress. I need to be honest with that.
Yeah. Growing and getting better. And for people like you, a pastor, a gospel minister, you're definitely more scrutinized than a lot more people, because generally, for us sitting back, we expected to have the highest moral standards, to say the right things in interviews and not drop a ball. Recently, you got a lot of bashing. I know, right? How do you handle the criticism, the scrutiny? When you've gone out there, do you expect to see some book? Okay, everybody's bashing. You're back home. Your family says this one.
You should talk about it.
Yeah. Yes.
You should play.
Okay.
So this is
your daddy or your children are saying, "Daddy, somebody said you said this." Your wife says, "I went out and this woman said you said." How do you handle all those things? And maybe Timothy's also asking you if you want to touch on that.
Okay. So first of all, the issue where I received a bashing on, I think it's an issue of misinformation. and I've had my fair share of that. And I thank the Lord for the likes of Honorable Sam George, and people who are who always look for a clear understanding of whatever is happening before they pass a comment. A lot of Ghanaians have come to realize they would just jump on you just by reading the topic and not reading the news itself. And we unfortunately we are in a space where a lot of the bloggers want the click because
Yes.
of what of
Yes.
their views and all that. So they rather use a controversial topic and put the truth in their story itself. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't read that. They read the topic and start, oh yeah, emojis, blah 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 blah. So I went for an interview somewhere and I was asked my view on a bill that the Parliament has passed concerning a certain group of people. I don't want to mention their name, and I told the host that I don't want to talk about this bill issue because the party in power doesn't want to sign it, and the opposition is pushing the party in power to sign it. If I speak for, I'm for party A. If I speak against, I'm for party B. So based on that, I don't want to talk about it. And the information now came out that I don't want to declare my stand on that subject matter, which is not the case. It was on the bill, not the subject matter. On the subject matter, I've already declared my stand. I've been asked in several interviews, and I said, I stand where the scripture stands. Bible is against it, I'm against it. So we have to go and pick up the old video, come and post it. But unfortunately, the damage had already been caused by these bloggers.
These days of social media has gone very far.
And the me not me, the old me would have come out on social media to lambast and all that. But I was telling my pastor said, listen, don't talk about it. Let the dust settle. And when the dust settle, you cannot come out and make a statement. So that's what we did. And over the period of time, people have gotten to see the truth and realize that that's it. How do I handle criticism in my space? I've learned to be silent. Silence has a lot of voice. So when somebody enters a room and the person doesn't speak, the perception everybody has about him or her is different. That's the voice of silence. So silence has a voice. And silence, when applied carefully by the guilty, it makes them look innocent. Because they refuse to speak, so you don't know what the truth is. You understand? So I have learned to be quiet, and I've learned to pick my battles in the space that we are in. Because obviously, the work we do as Christians or as gospel ministers, when we stand on the stage, in the realms of the spirit, we don't see the damage we cause in the realms of the spirit. So the enemy can choose any vessel at any time who has 2 CDs bundle credit on their phone to
that's MOG.
to come and just.
So everybody and anybody can say
I know, right? And I mean, sometimes you read some of the comments and you can clearly see that this person commenting has 1 minute left of common sense. You have
music.
When you are listening to you have a call the phone say you have 1 minute remaining. Like typically the person have 1 minute remaining of common sense. So these people have learned to just be silent on them and not allow their comments to come to you. Just be focused on the assignment. So I have a lot of people I believe my ministry is impacting. So for the and people that I'm here to impact. So for the souls that we're working on, I would rather prefer let the noise carry itself away.
All right, this is Sunny 88.7 FM. Is the active Unfiltered Fatherhood Series, and I wish you could share with us how you are fostering a strong foundation, a strong faith foundation in your family. Timothy, can you take that for us?
I'm sorry.
How you're fostering a strong faith foundation in your family amongst your children.
Honestly, it's difficult.
It is.
Believe me. I mean, you have to have a very intentional regiment, make a conscious effort. So we are doing this at this time, doing this at this time, doing this, because the distractions of life are pulling you in every direction. Yeah, the children have to go in the morning. Everybody has to move. By the time everybody's tired. So if you don't take care, the weeks will roll by without you really doing anything. So you have to be intentional about it. In my house, what we do is we have put it through the weekend, over the weekend, because in the week ever.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, because it doesn't work. I mean, and because of nighttime prayer, like midnight stuff, so you don't wake up early. The wife, and my wife is like my prophetess. My wife, and she has all her visions and stuff in the morning. So between 5, so you dare not wake my wife. Yeah, no. Everybody
Don't
has
go
to
there.
No,
Don't go
we leave
there.
because when I have my biggest issues, my wife comes through. She will say, "Oh, okay, so Tim, I saw this, I saw that." So nobody wakes up in the morning. I drop the kids off. I make sure they're ready. They done all that, because what she's doing is also important. So if you put it all together, you'd find that you would have to be wise about it. You're telling everybody to do their morning devotion, which everybody does. But at home, we can't do it together because in the morning it's too in the night somebody's not there. But weekends we make sure that we do Saturday morning, Saturday evening. We read the Bible, and I give them work during the week, Bible trivia. So I'll tell them I'm going to do Saturday on this day. We'll have like a little quizzy thing, and then the boys are always ecstatic about it. And then so God is helping.
MOG, how about you?
The weekends does a lot of job for us because we have to wake up very early to take the boys to school. So we do the normal prayers in the morning, pray with them. And obviously, during the weekend, if I'm around, we do some prayers. I would give this to my wife because she spends a lot of time with the boys. Okay. So she would normally do a lot of these things with them. When I'm around, probably on a Sunday or something, then we can have a family time together. Their Bible verses and all those things. It's on my wife. She does all this work. For me, I just jump in my dress, pray, I'm out of the house, come back, Dubai. But I mean, when they have to go to school in the morning, our morning prayers, taking our communion, anointing them for the day and all that. We do together.
We do together. Yeah. What would you say, finally, as we wrap up with our conversation with you this morning, that one advice you'd like to share with gospel ministers as a father, considering your experience you've had raising children? Now you know what it was like for your father. You're a father of your own now. What advice would you have for young gospel ministers who are in that same place?
What advice I'll give to young gospel ministers is that, first of all, marry somebody who understands your call, your ministry, and is willing to support you, every step of the way. Because even getting married to somebody who understands and is willing to support you, when the going gets tough, it's not easy. So how much more somebody who's like, I'm not interested in your ministry, I just love you for who you are, blah blah. You get some ladies saying that. So that's the first thing I'll say.
Okay.
And the other thing I'll say is that get your family involved in the work you do. It's very important. My kids know all my songs.
They do.
They sing all the songs, and in extension sing all my friends, Joe Metal, Akese, Timmy Eternity, everybody. Because primarily those are the songs we listen to. So get them involved in your ministry. Get them to love what you're doing, so they can also share in the glory and the hard work and everything, because basically it also builds their faith in the things of God. And try as much as possible to spend quality time when you've not gotten to the season where God has exposed you to the world, and spend a lot of quality time with your family, because when that season comes, the memory of the quality time you spent with your family will play out a lot, and it will help.
That's a good one. Yeah. Thank you, MOG. Timothy, finally.
Yes, ma'am. I think that, like I said, sow the seeds. Sow the seeds. It's not how much work you do, how much Jesus you give the kids. It's not how stern you are and how you try to be disciplined. It's the grace of God. People do a lot and their kids turn out. And my dad did a lot and I turned out, whatever. So after all is said and done, pray for your children. but sow the seeds. Let them read the Bible, let them memorize some verses, let them, because once you sow the seeds, no matter how far away they stray, they'll come back.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the Unfiltered Fatherhood Series this morning, MOG and Timothy Bentum. And if you're listening to us, we have a great gathering for men. That is the Man Cave Fest, where you get to have your own man cave conversations pertaining to men. We also have some health checks lined up for you. There's free eye screening, free prostate screening. There's some networking and interaction with businesses. Awesome activities tailored just for men. That's for the 29th of this month, last Saturday of this month at Cameron Hotel, Sakumono, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's 299 Ghana cedis per person. For the wives out there, if you're thinking, hey, my man or my husband seems stressed out pretty lately, how can I get him to step out and be a little less stressed? The Man Cave Fest may just be what he needs. You can dial *88